Good morning, YouTubers. This is Handsome Jack from Have Gas Will Travel. I got a couple things that kind of bother me, and I think they bother other people too, although I'm not sure. I thought I'd talk about them a little bit this morning and see if anybody else has the same problem. The first one is, we were given a check for $200 by a friend of ours, and it was written on a local bank. So my wife took it down to cash it, and the bank is NBT. What they did was, we don't have an account there, but the girl that wrote the check obviously did because it was drawn on their bank. When she went to cash it, they charged her $5 to cash their own check. So I told her, I said, we just won't accept any checks from there anymore. But I don't know how many banks are doing this, but I know there's at least a couple in the area. I didn't know that they did, but I do now. I don't understand why, when you're using their check, that they have to charge you. It's just another way for them to make money, and it really pisses me off that I have to pay to cash one of their checks. And I don't know how widespread this is. I don't know if it happens in other states. It's allowed here in New York. And I was kind of curious if anybody else had this problem. If you do, leave me a comment in the bottom. And let me know if you have the same problem or not. Alright, that takes care of that pretty much. I don't know what else I can say about her other than the fact that she did pay the $5 to get the check cashed. Because we didn't have any cash on us, she needed some cash, so it was either that or use the ATM, and they charge, because it's not our ATM, they charge us for that, so she just paid the $5. Anyway, that takes care of that. Another thing is, being kind of new to RVing, I mean, I've always had a camper or travel trailer or something. But now we've got the RV. We went up to, well, we got a phone call not too long after we bought the RV from a place up by Niagara Falls that said we had won a vacation for 2 or 3 days to go up there and park our RV in their park and stay for a few days. So I asked him, I said, is there what are you trying to sell me? Oh, we're not trying to sell you anything. Oh, okay. But this was back in, I don't know, January or February. It was when it was really cold out. And I told her, I said, you know, yeah, we'd like to do that. It was 3 days. It was free, supposedly. She says, you come up here, we'll set you up, you'll have full hookups, everything, and just enjoy 3 days. So we said, all right, but the only thing is, I says, I don't want to go up now. I want to wait until it warms up. I mean, this thing here isn't made for, it's not an all-season RV like the one we want to get. It's, I don't know, it's spring, summer, fall, maybe, 3-season. I mean, we were able to keep it warm even in December when I was working out here on it, but it uses a lot of propane. It's got the single pane windows. It doesn't have the double pane or any of that. Anyway, I'm getting off subject here. So, here, I don't know, maybe a month and a half ago, we decided, you know, they called again, wanted to know when we wanted to come up. And we said, well, we'll come up now because it'll give us a chance to get out of here for a few days because we'd been working on the house pretty hard and had it for sale, yet we didn't have a real estate agent yet. So we hopped in the RV. I hooked the Demco car hauler I've got to the back, because I wanted to tow it, and I figured this was a good chance. You know, it's a couple, 3 hours away, so that gives me a chance to tow the car and see how that's going to handle on the new car hauler that I bought, and which worked out great. I would recommend that particular. It's not really a car hauler, it's just a two-wheel. The front wheels go up on it and you tow it like that, but it worked great. Anyway, we get up there and we sign in, and they take us to, he says, well, would you like a pull around? I says, yeah. So they took me over and had me park in this one spot, and I got out and I'm walking around and I noticed there's no sewer hookup. And I said, well, what about the sewer? Oh, we only have so many sites that have them. And my tanks were empty, so it was only going to be for 3 days. It didn't bother me that much. So anyway, we stay there, and then they come back and they tell us on Monday. We went on a Saturday, stayed Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. They come around on Monday and said, well, you have to go to a meeting. I said, a meeting for what? She said, well, it's just a meeting for new people that come in. So we thought, all right, no problem, you know. We went over, there was, I think, 4 other couples that were there too. And next thing I know, they're trying to sell me, after I'd asked, and they told me no, there was no sales involved. They were trying to sell me a membership to this thing. I think it was $9,000 for a life membership type thing. Which, you know, geez, that's not bad. And then they kept going on, you know, telling all these parks and everything they had, and all over the place, and this and that. Then the next thing I know, on top of the $9,000, it's going to cost me another $700 per year for upkeep. That means mowing the lawns around the sites and all that stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm paying $9,000 to stay there. And then they're going to charge me to take care of their park so I can stay there. And I'd made up my mind right then and there that wasn't going to happen. I don't mind renting a campsite, but I am not going to pay to take care of it. If, you know, I keep my stuff all picked up, they should mow the lawns and all that stuff around there. And the park was not all that great to start with. I mean, there was all kinds of stuff wrong. I'll go into that in a minute. Well, then they told me, well, you can only stay 14 days, then you have to go somewhere else. You have to be out, I don't know if it was a day or a week or what, but you literally have to, you can come back, but you have to move your RV out, and then you can come back. And I'm thinking, why would I rent a spot? You know, usually when we're full-timers, so when we rent a spot, we want to be able to stay there a month or 2 months, or if there's stuff to do, you know, maybe even a little longer. Well, the next thing I know, we got to move out after 14 days. And I forget, I think we had to be out 3 days or something like that before we could come back in. And I told the guy, I says, you know, we're full-timers. I says, he says, well, we have another park right down the road. You can go down there and stay for a couple, 3 days and then come back. You mean I got to rip my RV all the way down because there's a lot of work involved in moving it. I mean, I got to hook the tow back up, and I have to get everything put away so I can move the slide in. I mean, it takes a few hours just to get the RV ready to move. And he says, well, that's the way it is. And I said, well, I'll tell you what. From what I've seen so far, all you're trying to do is make money off me. The site that they gave us, I said, I don't even have sewer hookup. I said, well, he says, well, we have a limited number. I says, yeah, I'm going to pay that much money and not have a place to dump my tanks. Well, we have a wagon that comes around and empties the tanks twice a week. I said, what's that cost? He says, oh, that's $7 a pop. And I'm thinking to myself, well, now there's another $7 every week or so. By the time these people get done, I'm not going to have any money left to enjoy what I want to do. But the name of the place was Lazy Lakes Resort or something like that. I mean, there was nothing really there. They had two big ponds. They call them lakes, but they're not. They're just big ponds. They're not that big. I mean, you can walk around the whole thing probably in 15 minutes, both ponds. And, well, we have all this stuff for you to do. I says, what? They had a kids' playground there that they were bringing stuff in for. You know, there was a swing set and a couple other things. That was about it. And they brought in some, I don't know, it's one of the, like the backyard toys there that the kids climb on and slide down the little tube and like that. And I don't think I'm going to be playing on that, especially at my age. But you never know, I guess. Anyway, the picnic table we had, the ends were eating right off it from rot. It looked like it hadn't been painted in 10 years. They had rentals there for canoes and paddle boats and like that. And they were supposed to be free, and they were charging for the boat was free. You had to pay for the oars. You had to rent the oars. Well, to me, that's not free if you got to pay for part of it. I guess I could take my own oars with me, but I really don't have a place to keep a pair of oars. I have enough trouble getting everything else in here. Well, anyway, we're in this meeting, and I mean, they're hardcore. The guy that we originally talked to brought somebody else in to talk to us, and they knew right away that I wasn't gonna go for this. They knew it, so they brought the big gun in, the guy that owned the place. He says, well, where else can you get a camping spot for that? And I says, well, you know, for one thing, you're charging me $9,000. Then I'm paying $700, and I can only stay 14 days. I said, that does not work for us. Well, after going through, I think it was 3 people we went through, because when one don't work, they send another one in, then they send another one in. Well, it took 20 minutes, and I've been in meetings a lot longer than that where they tried to sell stuff hard, but they knew they were done. So they let us go. We were the first ones out of there. And out of the 5 couples, nobody bought anything. But the other ones were in there for like an hour. I mean, they were really pushing. They thought they were going to sell something, but they didn't sell anything that day. And on our way out of the park, because we left shortly afterwards, because it was our last day anyhow, we wanted to get home. We talked to a couple of the others because we saw them as we were pulling out around. And they all said the same thing. And we probably talked to at least 20 people in the park itself, you know, because they had memberships. And out of that 20 people, one person was really happy. But they lived like 2 hours away. So for them it was convenient. And they only stayed there for, I don't know, a couple weeks a year, which I think is kind of expensive for what they had to pay. And but everybody else said no. The guy that owns the park, they said, was just looking for money. The upkeep was terrible. They had the ponds there, and they had a nice beach on the pond. The only thing was, you couldn't go in the water because they didn't have a they did not have a lifeguard there that was beach certified. And in New York, you have to, if you have a beach, which is nothing more than some sand poured on the side of a pond, you have to have a beach certified lifeguard. It can't be a regular swimming pool. It has to be a beach certified. Well, they knew this last year, last fall, and they didn't send anybody down to take the test. So you couldn't even use the pond. And it was just a complete, utter friggin' mess. I mean, the park was clean and everything. Everything was just friggin' run down. They weren't putting any money in it. And I'm not maybe the other ones are different. I don't know. If they are, somebody could tell me that. And maybe we'd try a membership somewhere else. But not for that kind of money for this kind of park. I want to be able to stay and not have to worry about getting booted out after 2 weeks. Anyway, consequently, we ended up coming home. Well, we were done anyhow, but I just thought I'd let people know and see what other people had to say about it. Hopefully somebody knows of an outfit. I mean, these outfits are money to make money, are in business to make money, and they want it any way they can get it. In a way, I can't blame them, but not that much money. And to have to pay to do the upkeep on the park, that's friggin' ridiculous, especially for one that doesn't have a lifeguard. They didn't really have that much to do there, so, and everything that you did there, you had to pay for just about. So, I don't know, for us it wasn't the right thing. Maybe it would be for you or something, but anyway, if you got any comments, let me know. Subscribe if you haven't. And if you like the video, let me know. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Like I said before, I don't know what that means, but must be worth something. So, we appreciate you watching. And like I said, leave a comment or two if you have them. But I am real curious about if other banks in other states are charging the $5 fees or not for their own checks, which I think is ridiculous. So, for now, Handsome Jack is signing off from Have Gas Will Travel. We will see you later. Bye.